John Basilone was not born into greatness. He was born into discipline, the son of Italian immigrants, raised in a working-class family in New Jersey. Basilone grew up understanding duty before glory. Work came first. Responsibility came early. There was nothing heroic about his childhood, and that was exactly what shaped him. Before the United States entered World War II, Basilone had already chosen the Marine Corps, not for medals, not for fame, but because the Marines demanded more from a man than most were willing to give. When war came, he was ready. Guadalcanal, where survival became legend. In 1942, the Pacific War was still uncertain. Japan was advancing fast, and the United States needed to stop the momentum. Guadalcanal was the line. It was not a place meant for men. Dense jungle, crushing humidity, endless rain, disease, anger, exhaustion, and an enemy who attacked mostly at night. The Japanese did not fight to retreat. They fought to destroy. Basilone was a machine gun section leader. His position was critical. If his guns failed, the line would collapse, and one night, everything did. Wave after wave of Japanese infantry assaulted the marine perimeter. The fighting was so close that muzzle flashes lit faces, ammunition ran low. Men were killed beside their guns. Communication disappeared. Chaos took over. Basilone refused to break. For 2 days and 2 nights, he held his position under constant attack. When his machine guns overheated, he fixed them under fire. When ammunition ran out, he ran through enemy fire to resupply isolated positions. When sections collapsed, he absorbed them into his own defense. At one point, Basilone was virtually alone, firing, repairing, moving, commanding, holding an entire sector by sheer will. If Guadalcanal fell, the Pacific War would change. It didn't fall, because the line held. And the line held because Basilone did. For his actions, he was awarded the Medal of Honor. But that medal was earned in blood, noise, fear, and exhaustion, not ceremony. The hero America wanted back home. America needed heroes. Basilone was brought back to the United States, not as a Marine, but as a symbol. He appeared in parades. He spoke at war bond rallies. His face was on posters. His name was known nationwide. He was safe. He was respected. He was untouchable. And he hated it. Basilone did not believe he had done anything special. In his mind, he had simply done his job, while others had died doing the same. Each speech felt wrong. Each applause felt undeserved. Each night away from the front weighed heavier. While he stood on stages, Marines were still fighting and dying, and Basilone knew exactly where he belonged. The decision no one expected the Marine Corps did not want him back in combat. He was too valuable. Alive, too symbolic to risk, too important to lose. Basilone disagreed. Again and again, he requested reassignment to a combat unit. Again and again, he was refused. But he did not stop. Eventually, the Marines relented. John Basilone chose to return to war, not because he had to, but because he refused to stay behind while others carried the burden. He was reassigned as a machine gun leader to the 5th Marine Division. The destination was Iwo Jima. Iwo Jima. The cost of going back Iwo Jima was not Guadalcanal. It was worse, an island turned into a fortress, underground tunnels, interlocking fields of fire. Volcanic sand that swallowed men and equipment. No cover, no safety, on February 19, 1945. Basilone landed with the first waves. The beach was chaos. Men were cut down before reaching. Cover, tanks burned. Machine gun fire poured from unseen positions. Orders were barely heard over explosions. Basilone moved forward anyway. Under heavy fire, he pushed through the beach, directing his men, clearing pots, destroying enemy positions. He did not slow. He did not hesitate. Then, early in the assault, he was hit. John Basilone was killed in action on Iwo Jima. There was no speech, no audience, no ceremony, only the same battlefield he had chosen to return to. What he left behind after his death, Basilone was posthumously awarded the Navy Cross for his actions on Iwo Jima. He remains one of the very few Americans to receive both the Medal of Honor and the Navy Cross. But his true legacy is not medals. It is the decision he made when no one was watching. When he could have stayed safe, when he could have stayed famous, when he could have stayed alive, John Basilone chose to go back, and in that choice, he became something greater than a hero. He became an example.